It's IndyCar race weekend, and you know what that means. When they race in the NTT IndyCar Series, that means we race first. And it's time for some top split action in the 2025 IndyCar iRacing Series here on P1. Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gatso, and welcome to round 9 of the 2025 season of the IndyCar iRacing Series for the Saturday Top Split broadcast presented by 4D Racewear at the National Park of Speed and everyone's favorite IndyCar road course here at Road America at Elkhart Lake. As always, joining me in the booth, hot off another race this season for him under his belt. He goes to the Indy 500, and then NASCAR decides they want to come to his hometown, so he decides he wants to go to that race now. Is from Mexico City is Antonio Estrada. El Patron, we're back with us. Good to have you here. And we were kind of talking in the pre-race. So this is kind of everybody in the community and the IndyCar community, one of their favorite road course. Even I like this place. And you're like, you're an oval guy. And even you're like, yeah, even I want to race here this week. You won one in the Sprint Series. What is it that everyone really likes about Road America that, whether you're an oval racer or a road racer, you just take to the place like, any fish in any water?
I don't know. I don't really know. But hey, Gary, it's great to be back. Great to see you. And I have been on sabbatical because of racing quite a bit. But I think I'm done for the year. As for Road America, man, such an iconic circuit. And to me, it's kind of synonymous with IndyCar racing, right? Like, I know that there are a ton of series that race here, but realistically, the one that races the best and makes this place look the best is IndyCar, and vice versa, right? The track makes Indy look great. The IndyCars going around here. I think that it's a combination of the long straights, the speeds that it has, and the type of corners that are very suitable for racing in these cars that are very, it comes like second nature to most of those. Most drivers that are familiar with this car, like we were talking about, even me, I'm not a road race guy, right? Even I want to race. But it's always such a blast to be here in Wisconsin. There seems to be the tiniest sliver of possibility that we might have a little bit of rain at the end of the race. We'll see if that materializes, because that would be very, very exciting. But even without that, Road America typically always delivers. So looking forward to the race.
All right. And we're getting ready to line up here and go racing. Just a second, we'll get the starting lineups in.
Man, at that point, while we were getting into the race, the Fiercely Forward cars, they were 1 to 4th. Phil Krause kind of got in the middle of that, but this is going to be very, very interesting race between those teams.
And if you'd like to go ahead with the starting lineup, you can go right ahead, Antonio, as we are lining up on the front straight. You got plenty of time to read this thing off. We got, I think, 26 cars in this split, and we get the full 4-mile pace lap.
Yes. We're not going to have to run through this as we have to do in some of the oval races. But, like I was talking about a little bit ago, on the pole and locking the front row, it's Fiercely Forward with Christian Hildgaard, a 141.4. Man, I thought a 144 that I did at some point was crazy fast. What do I know? Starting next to him is Kevin Sawyers, his teammate, and winner of it was a Detroit race that we did a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be starting second. He's getting really, really comfortable with these cars, and that could smell trouble for everybody else in the field. Starting third is Phil Krause, one of the Pro Series racers that we have, and he still holds that Pro license. There are 2 of those drivers in the field today. He's going to be starting third, 141.5 for him, still crazy fast. Marcos Nunez is going to be starting fourth, joining Phil Krause, and he's one of the Fiercely Forward cars as well, the number 1 car. with just a measly 9,300 I rating. You know, whatever.
Nothing. Yeah, light work.
Yeah.
Light work.
Starting fifth is Kevin Burrell, another of the Fiercely Forward cars, and the last one of the cars to set a time in the 141 bracket. He's going to be joined by the king. That's Robert Moleska III. He's going to be starting sixth with a 142.3. So those power slide or hyper slide cars are close together between Phil and Rob Moleska. In row 4, starting 7th, is one of my associate teammates. That's Will Lyon. Good to see him here. He's going to be joined by Alain Bretot, who's going to be starting 8th. Row 5, we can find Logan Edwards, joined by Gonzalo Romero. It's good to see him back. One of the Neki guys, and they sometimes join a couple of races for a while, then they disappear for a little bit. It's good to see Gonzalo here. He's a good road racer. In row 6, starting 11, that's Dave Manino, joined by Guillaume Darorna, French. Hopefully I did pronounce that correctly, Guillaume. If I didn't, don't tell anybody. Guillaume, by the way, never mind. I saw something different in the car, but he's going to be starting 12th. Then in row 7, that's another one of the IAR cars, that was Chad Craig. He's going to be joined by Nutty ML, who's going to be starting 14th. Starting 16th is Will Weiser, joined by George Rensberg. Starting 17th. Starting 18th, we have Nicholas Holden, joined by Jason Green. In 19th, starting 20th, that's Lilac Zier, joined by Ethan McNichol, starting 21st. Starting 22nd, that still set a time, that's Andrew Petty. So far, I'm familiar with him from the Twitch stream, so good to have you here. And he's going to be starting 22nd. Starting 23rd, without setting a time, that's Loris Baylor. Somebody that we haven't really talked about in this Top League racing. I think it's probably his first appearance, or their first appearance. Good to have you, welcome. Noah Plugi is going to be starting 24th, another newcomer to the series. Welcome as well. Thomas Wright is going to be starting 25th, and he's joined by AJ Pritchett. He's going to be starting second on the field, and that is your 26 car field. Look at that! I even deliberately went a little slower, and we're still the king. So we're
you got him. You got him all the way through to the carousel.
Oh, there you go. That's what I do.
I did notice that Alain Bretot is sporting a Fiercely Forward livery now. He must be a new pickup.
Oh, I didn't see that. Let me check. Well, nice. Yeah, and Fiercely Forward is really growing. So then that means that's first, second, fourth, fifth, eighth. Wow, that's stacked.
No kidding. It's interesting with Marcos Nunez on Fiercely Forward. Now they got two Nunez's in their lineup.
That's true. They also have Luis Nunez. We're getting ready to go. It's going to be 55 laps around this place. Remember, they need to swap compounds. It's very cloudy, so that means a very fast racetrack. Also a very green racetrack. Let's see how they handle turn 1 as the pace car goes in, and green flag is out. Nunez jump field crowds there. Everybody went cleanly by turn 1. There's been a side-by-side action there between Kraus and Marcos Nunez. That's for third. Nunez has the aid of his teammates up front. Kraus can break a little deeper. They're still side-by-side. Will they have to sort this one out? Typically turn 6, not a place where you want to go side by side. Field Kraus makes it happen though. Nice move. Still very clean.
First two on the red tires. It was Edwards and Berteau at 8th and 9th. Everyone else in the top 10 on the primes.
It's Logan Edwards trying to take a peek to Will Lyon. He does have the alternate tire, which is faster. He's sending it into Canada corner. Easy move. The guys that are starting on the alternates, they need to make things happen with these tires because they're really fast. But then they kind of plateau a little bit. So, yeah, use them right now. So Hildegard is going to lead the first lap. Kevin Desnoyers is flanking him P2, and they already put a good gap to Phil Krauser.
Desnoyers' slight livery change to his car. He won on the Monday night top split here for the Open Series broadcast, and he is now sporting green on his car. Is that proper green or is that British Racing green? And then when I say proper green, is that British Racing? That's what I really should have meant. Is it proper green meaning British Racing, or is that the bad luck green? I think it's British Racing.
It is British Racing. It looks very Lotus E to me, so I think it's good.
Okay, good. Don't want to play around with the gods, especially if you got one win already this week at the National Park of Speed. We're early stages here, lap 2 of 55. It is Hildegard, Desnoyers, and Kraus, your top 3. Marcos Nunez, Kevin Burrell, Logan Edwards, King Robert, Will Lyon, Gonzalo Romero, and Alan Berteau, your top 10.
Yeah, and Logan Edwards was able to make it by Rob Maleshka there. Again, he's on the alternate tire, and he's going to be trying to close in as much as possible to guys in front. But, man, the Fiercely forward cars, they're gone. And, you know, within them, that's Phil Krause as well. But something happened. Ooh.
Oh.
That's Christian Hilbert, our leader. He spun.
We got to go back and watch that. Actually, I had the points up. I was getting ready to talk about points. Let's go back and watch key moment of the race.
Drops all the way back to 9th.
Oh, and he spins coming out of Bill Mitchell Bend in Thunder Valley right before getting into turn 14.
Oh, man. Well, nice save, though. That could have been so much worse. I mean, yes, he lost all the track position, but, you know, dropping from 1st to 9th and still have, the car in good condition, no problem, no damage. That's important.
Wow, loose right there. And then Desnoyers just sneaks around.
Yeah, that section of the track is very tricky because it really changes the load of the car while you're going through the corner. So it gets very, very light. And I think that's exactly what happened to him. The car got light, got super loose, and turned on him. And let's also remember the tire temperatures and the track temperature is very, very low because it's so cloudy. So I'm sure that also came a little bit into play. But man,
I want to watch that one more time. I mean, look at the point where Desnoyers is passing the partial spin here. It is right where that access road is, and the racetrack actually widens out a little extra there, and he was able to use that to get by. If it was any other place on the road course, he would have to go through the grass to avoid that.
Yeah, lucky. A little bit of a luck escape there.
Well, that will move Hildegard back to 10th spot. Again, sorry about that. Rashad Craig, he is going down through the field. He is off in the kitty litter in Canada corner. Let's see what happened to him. He is racing a damaged Dylan Freckleton and doesn't quite clear him into the braking zone in Canada corner and goes forward right into the kitty litter, but does not make contact with the tire barrier. But unfortunately loses all his track position as he has to put the car in reverse. He does not beach it, but he is now down in the order.
Yeah, it looks a ton of things happen. Ethan
McNichol, he is on pit road with a back broken wing, showing a meatball flag, and Nicholas Holden also on pit road.
Nicholas Holden flew through the air, did a couple of barrel rolls in Thunder Valley section, entering turn 14. Something with Ethan McNichol blinking a little
Oof.
bit, and
Oh, my
then
goodness.
roll over. So yeah, Dylan Freckleton, Rashad Craig, and Ethan McNichol, early victims of circumstances that can happen here.
And again, here the points coming into today's race. Let's try to get that in there. Here you go. Kevin Burrell, your points leader. Nathan Moore, still second. Berteau, now another fiercely forward driver, is now third. Ethan Hagan fourth. Logan Edwards fifth. Ty Quilla. Ethan Morris, Blaze Andrich, Will Weiser, Anna Klimick. There you see the remainder of the top 20. This strength of field of today's race.
Another problem here. Gonzalo Romero going a little wide, exiting 14. That allows everybody to go by. That's Hilder, Mleczka, Berteau, and Manino. Move Gonzalo Romero back to 11th. He had done quite a good job getting up the field. But I was keeping my eye on Christian Hildebert because it seems that the car is settled and now he's back to his previous speed before that incident that he had. So it's going to be very fun to see him go through the field again, or at least attempt to do it. And sorry to cut you off, but things
That's okay.
are still happening.
We are. Things are in motion, very fast motion with the Indy cars here at Road America. Watching a battle between Loris Baylor and that would be Andrew Petty. Petty on the outside, going into 5 and just cuts right across the nose and gets the position going uphill into 6.
Oh man, there's still a ton of fighting in this area. George Rensburg and Thomas Wright almost wrecked each other. Gonzalo Romero keeps falling down. Oh, looks like there is a little bit of a squabble between Gonzalo and Guillaume. Let me go back a little bit. A little bit of a
Guillaume
punt.
is missing part of the front wing, and Nadi Emmel taking a peek on the inside, going into the kink. Not a lot of room there. They make it work. Now here comes Will Weiser and that Pelot livery getting on by. And so Guillaume needs to probably come to pit road at some point. It's still very early, and that would just be adding an extra stop to his day. So does he stay out and rough this out, or does he come to pit road and get it taken care of now?
If it was me, I would just pit, get it over with. Because you do lose around 2 to 3 seconds per lap. I mean, I guess it's better to tough it out, but then you also risk damaging your tires a little bit more, and you're going to be wrestling an injured car for still around maybe 8, 9 additional laps. That's kind of a lot. And you're going to drop that track position anyway, so... But he chose not to, so I guess he'll tough it out. Also,
go ahead.
Desnoyers, Nunez, Krause, Burrell there. Ooh!
Burrell, general off into the grass.
I was about to mention, there was, you could put a blanket on top of these 4 cars. They're so close together. And Nunez went by Phil Krause a couple of laps ago. This group is not being able to separate from each other. Well, until right now, the commentator's curse talking about Burrell, and he made a tiny mistake there.
Watching Burrell on the button down the back straight in the Canada corner. This is turn number 12. Then they come into Thunder Valley here. Then up into Bill Mitchell Bend. And then the final turn on the course, turn 14. As Kevin loose off of 14. Big bite. Big wiggle. Keeps it underneath him. So it is 3-on-1. But I don't really, knowing the pedigree of Phil Krause, PK, is it really a handicap match when it's 3-on-1 and the one is PK, or is PK? He knows what to do when he has 3 other alternate and rival teammates around him.
I mean, fastest lap of the race belongs to, you would guess it, Phil Krause, 1:43.8. I don't think he's in. I don't think he's in trouble. We've seen him come out of a situation like this time and time again. Rachel, Menino, they're very close together.
And just ahead of them is Robert Malechka, RM3, up the hill, blind left-hander at 6. That's probably, in my opinion, the most difficult turn on this entire course, right there. Then down, hurry downs into turn 8. Kind of a passing zone there, not quite. You can get some passing there if you're lining up properly. And then into the carousel. And as T-Bell said on Friday practice coverage on Fox, it's about the closest thing you're going to get to running an oval and turning right through the carousel to getting the impression of oval racing, but turning right.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Because you do have to manage your throws. You can't just smash it. It has nuance. Otherwise, it's going to bite you.
And a bunch of cars getting bottled up behind. That's Jason Green. No, that is Rinsberg. Thomas Wright missing a front wing in a green car. That is not the proper green. And he's trying to cut the pit road, and he cuts across Lilac Zier, and Lilac loses part of her front wing.
Oh, man. Yeah, and Guillaume already came into the pits, decided to do it this lap.
Oh, and a blinker.
Lots of chaos here.
AJ
In the meantime,
Pritchett.
Also, Hildegard made it by Logan Edwards, so move him back up to 5th, and that way 4 of the 5 cars in the top 5 are PC4 cars.
So if this is your first time watching IndyCars on iRacing since the latest update, you're probably hearing some new sound effects out there. The Chewbacca growl, as they call it, or the Dallara purr is what I like to call it. That kind of a sound you hear when under low revs these cars make. Also, when we get into a car here, and we'll get into the car right here of Christian Hildegard, new sound effect there. Not as throaty as it used to be, a little bit more higher pitch. Bit of a different sound when you transition between gears. There you see he's on the button momentarily, going uphill at the start-finish line. New, visually, a new steering wheel for these cars. New Cosworth steering wheel, and it has a lot of data on it. Now, we're not going to see that data. That is kind of shielded against prying eyes, which I talked about this before. I guess if you see an in-car camera in a real IndyCar race, you do see that same data. So I don't know. I don't understand why they just don't let us see the data. But they prevent that from being transferred over. But when you're in the race driving, a lot of that data you see there is live data concerning your tire temperatures and some other data that you normally didn't used to see. Or if you saw it, you used like SimHub and you had another screen somewhere that had that data.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I do it. We have a great battle right now between Andrew Petty and Gonzalo Romero. Gonzalo, remember, he's upset right now.
Up the hill in the 6. Very blind corner there.
No room given. Yeah, but I think we are also at that crossover point where he's Petty trying to get it back. Where the alts are not that great anymore. Also in this battle, Loris Baylor getting very close to Petty.
In the Uber Eats car, that is the wrong color, green.
Yeah, that's the bad luck one.
Your lead on the prime tire, or on the alt tire, is Logan Edwards in 6. You'll see that there on the side of your screen in this column right here. Circling that here. That is, if you see a red triangle, that means they're on the alternate tire. If you see the black triangle with the white outline, that means they're on the prime tire. Since this is a permanent road course, they use the prime and the alternate reds here. If this was a street course, they would be using the alternate greens. The only approved green on IndyCar, the Waiuli tire.
Waiuli green. But yeah, I do think that they're coming to that point where there's a bit of a crossover. Will Lyon really catching with Logan Edwards last time by, a little quicker for Will Lyon. So yeah, it's like we're getting to that point. Still, for the red tires to last north of 10 laps, that's pretty good. And going back to what you were mentioning about the new changes that iRacing implemented, man, I love them. I love most of them, I'm gonna say. One of the things that I really enjoy is that you can now toss the car a little bit more. You can be a little bit more aggressive with it, especially on road courses. And that's kind of what we see in real life with the NTT IndyCar Series drivers. As Will Lyon here is setting up the pass on Logan Edwards, going to the inside.
And the corner.
And
he pulls it off.
So, yeah, I mean, I typically, whenever I race on road courses, I knew that I kind of have to be extremely cautious with sliding the tires, sliding the car, throwing it around, because you were unable to do that.
All right. Andrew Petty and Baylor getting close there in Canada corner, but they make it happen.
And Gonzalo Romero hasn't been able to get away from him. But anyway, now you can really play around with it. You can be much more aggressive. So that makes it, at least for me, road racing much more fun, because now you can do a lot more things with it. I like the sound. I like the visuals of the dashboard. I like pretty much everything. The only thing that I don't like is the contents that we have right now on the dashboard. The map setting that's huge and taking pretty much, I don't know, like 20% of the space on the steering wheel doesn't make sense to me. Same goes for the ARBs. I mean, they are too big, and there's data that we're missing. Fuel consumption, miles per gallon, etc. And the thing is, you're able to customize those in real life, and I imagine that would be a pain to model here for us to be able to customize it. But I do feel like there are certain things that we're not getting that we did get before, so now we're going to have to resort to using some third-party tools, but, minor detail, just putting that out. Maybe iRacing hears us. But overall, man, very, very happy that we're getting new stuff, and that is up to date with the 2025 spec.
Oh, Logan Edwards getting loose, doing very much what happened this morning in practice to Scott McLaughlin. He caught it almost very much in the same manner and method that Scott McLaughlin caught it off of turn 14. He is underway still, but now he's under attack by Robert Milecka on the outside in the 1. And Milecka moved him up to 7th. Logan Edwards now with those very hot and very angry red tires. He will want to get off them as soon as possible. The first round of pit stops not too far off. If you wanted to do 4 stops, and in actually real IndyCar racing, they were talking about the possibility of a 4-stop strategy. That window is open right now for a 4-stopper, which is really at lap 11. The 3-stopper, which is probably the strategy that most everyone here is going to follow, that opens here in about 2 more laps at lap 14 or so. So we will pay attention to see who might come to pit road a little bit early. Those that have hit pit road early and that are still rolling, and they hit pit road because of damage and repairs, it's Freckleton, Rugna, and Flugie. They all have hit pit road due to damage, and will probably have to make an extra stop since they hit pit road a little bit early, or maybe do a massive fuel save and see if they can bring those numbers right instead of making an extra stop here at the end. But your leader is Kevin Desnoyers. His teammate, Marcos Nunez, not Luis Nunez, and not Luis Gonzalez Nunez. It's Marcos Nunez in second, Phil Kraus in third. Kevin Burrell is marching back up into this battle. Had a little bit of an off in turn 7. Had to recover. Now getting that ground back. Christian Hilgard had the off through Thunder Valley into Bill Mitchell Bend. He is now back up to 5th, but he is all by himself. Will Lyon also now all by himself in 7th, and Logan Edwards and Minino side by side down the front straight going into 1. And those red tires are done.
Yeah, and smartly Logan Edwards like, you know what, go ahead. I don't have anything to fight with you. Same thing, I was looking at Andrew Petty dropping a little bit more. Same thing. He was on the alternate tires. He's going to be moving.
He's on pit road right now. Yep.
Yeah. A little bit early to make it on 3 stops, though. So unless you save a ton, which I guess it's possible, but we'll see how that develops.
And he is going to the prime tire, so his compound change is done. He does not need to change anymore. There is the possibility, and we have not talked about this yet, but it is in the forecast. Rain is there, and we will not see rain until the possibly later in this race, as Andrew Petty with a very long stop, 24 seconds. And I don't think he had a penalty. Just a very long stop. I don't know, maybe he had damage they were getting repaired, but he is back underway.
That sounds like damage, yeah. Dylan Frickleton also in pits? No, it blinked. Ha. There's a train here that's getting closer and closer. That's Maleshka, Menino, Edwards, Nadia Mel, who would be the next taker on Logan Edwards. Currently, the situation as he gets very, very loose. Logan Edwards does.
Oh, and we got someone to come to pit road. I believe that is Menino. The real-world IndyCar pit road is a two-step pit road. It has a first step of 90 mile per hour of a speed zone, and then a second step, which brings you down to the 45. Only one here in the sim. They have not been able to duplicate that yet, so it is 45 miles per hour all the way from the cone all the way to your stall, and then out at the exit point is 45 miles per hour. Very, very slow here at Road America, as we see Menino and Emmel 10th and 11th on the main straight getting service done. Looks like they are committing themselves to a 3-stopper also on pit road. It is Gonzalo Romero coming to his stall as well.
Yeah, Loris Baylor, Jason Green, George Rensburg, AJ Pritchett, and Lilac here all in the pits right now. Yeah, it feels so horrible going around this place at 45 miles per hour while everybody else is in the front stretch doing 180. You're like, man, let me go. They're in the window. However, leaders were able to save an additional lap. That's going to come into play quite a bit. And in cold tires, Dylan Frickleton trying to make a move on Loris Baylor, going side by side, entering the backstretch. It happened.
And they're coming to pit road. Up. Everybody come to pit road. All the leaders coming to pit road. This Noyers, Nunez, Kraus, Burrell.
Kraus, great entry. He was able to get so close to Marcus Nunez. If he executes or his pit stop executes, pretty good. And he's getting a little bit closer and closer to him. I don't know how he's doing. He's almost side by side now. Look at that.
Everybody into their stall. Desnoyers just missed his mark, so that's going to cost him a little bit. I suspect Kraus might come out and beat him. Here we go, down and away.
Yeah, there goes Phil.
And Phil does.
Man. What is that you say? That it's always better? Oh no, something happened to Desnoyers. He's slowing down. He's going really, really slow. I don't know if he has an issue with his equipment. Oh, and he punches out. Oh, no. Christian Hiller? What? Are you seeing what I'm saying?
What happened?
Kevin Desnoyers is out.
Hilgard is out. Desnoyers.
Oh, I see what happened with Hilgard. While getting out of pits, he guns the car and it hit the wall. on the inside. It totally destroyed his right front tire. That's it for two of
Ooh,
our contenders.
that's
Our pole
it.
seater.
That is it right there. We'll go back and watch this again from his in-car, down and away. And watch just the wall. I mean, oh, and done right there. That's it.
Man, I cannot believe. Oh, purple happening. And just like that, Phil Kraus now has a 2.7 second lead. Yeah. Is he inevitable in these races? Wow, that was wild. So let's go ahead and reset the field.
Right, exactly.
So we have Phil Kraus leading, 2.7 seconds over Marcos Nunez, who's running second. Running third, Kevin Burrell, and then we have Louis Lyon, currently running fourth. Dave Menino, big winner, up to fifth. Nutty Emil, also big winner, up to sixth. Will Weiser is seventh. Alan Berteau is running in eighth. Logan Edwards got a little bit mired back in traffic because of that stint with the alternates. He is down to ninth. And Rob Maleshka, he is currently running 10th. Then we have Gonzalo Romero, Loris Baylor, Dylan Freckleton, George Rensberg, Jason Green, and Guillaume de Rugna. We have also AJ Pritchett and Andrew Petty running 18th. Lilac Sear is in 19th, and Noah Flugy running 20th. Everybody else is out of the race.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Desnoyers. He just comes around turn 3 and lines it up and then punches out and then goes back to the, and then just right as he comes back and toes, that's when we see Hilgard smack the wall coming out of pit exit. So, yeah, we're trying to, thanks for resetting the field there as we were kind of reviewing as to what's going on. But all of a sudden, and I have the push-to-pass numbers up, and I've been having them up on the screen for a while now, and I apologize about that, but that is the push-to-pass situation. Let's get back to the gaps and intervals there you see on the race course. But all of a sudden, this has turned into a PK race as he is your leader by 2.6 seconds.
But not so fast. Marcos Nunez just went purple. 1/10 quicker than Phil Kraus last time by, but 1/10 is 1/10. 143.84 for him. Well, maybe exactly what was 300ths. 143.87 for Phil Kraus, but hey, getting a little bit closer. I don't think it's a done deal. There's still a lot of racing left. But there's a big battle happening here between Menino, Emil, Weiser, and Berteau. They're all together. Looks like Emil might have a good run here. Thinks better of it. Going out through 6. Berteau is able to close the gap a little bit more to Weiser. And here you don't have very many passing opportunities until you come to Canada corner. I mean, I guess you can force it here in 8.
Yeah, you could get a little cozy in 8 if you wanted to, but I said you can pass there, but you really have to have it set up coming out of 7, and 7's a very fast corner.
Yeah. And I guess you can technically go side by side in the kink. It's not something that I would advise anybody to try, but you can get away with it. And here's the best passing opportunity for Peace Group, but they're currently kind of like chilling. They might also be saving a little bit of fuel. It's always better to be pulled by somebody else. And, Will Weiser got super loose.
Wow. Will dipping off one of the wheels there into the dirt, and that allows Alan Berteau to get on by, move Berteau back up to 7th, Will back to 8th. Nadi Emil up 8 spots, Will Weiser up 8 spots, Lois Baylor up 11 spots. That's your biggest gainer of the day.
up to 12 right now. Loris Baylor. Gonzalo Romero has also caught with Rob Maleshka. He has been a little bit quicker the last couple of laps. So, and remember, he got kind of punted out of the way, and he also had an off track. So we know he has a ton of pace. So let's see what happens once he catches Rob. As we have said many times, catching is one thing, passing is another, entirely different. Yeah, he made a tiny bit of a mistake there, entering 6.
This is a 4-mile road course, although lately I've seen more and more reports of it now being called a 4.05-mile road course. So they keep wanting to grow Road America a little bit. I don't know if the ground is stretching up there, but it's 4.05 miles. We're doing 55 laps today. That puts it at 22.75 race miles. That is exactly what the Stars and Cars, the NTT IndyCar Series, will be doing tomorrow when they race in the XPEL Grand Prix of Road America. Wednesday, 9 p.m. had 6 splits with a top split of 38.69, won by Kevin Burrell. The Friday 4 p.m. time slot had 7 splits with a 46.64, won by Phil Kraus. PK was the winner there. And then today we had 6 splits with the 47.72, highest split of the weekend right here.
Yeah, a ton. This is a very stacked field. As Nutty Emil is trying to make a move on Menino in 5, now going up to 6. That's bringing Alan Berchuk closer and closer. Will Weiser as well. This is still a very good battle between these 4 cars. But yeah, I mean, this field is stacked. There's absolutely no slouches here. Everybody here is really, really good at driving this car around in, twisty circuits.
Through the carousel, getting ready to enter the kink. Site of 2 pretty famous shunts here at Road America. Catherine Legg had a big shunt there, and Joseph Newgarden in a rain situation, which we might still have later this race. He smacked the wall pretty hard there, in excess of 170 miles per hour they measured, they think.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a very, very fast road course. Like, it has this front stretch, which is very long, and again, you get up to north of 180 miles an hour, probably around 185, maybe 190, depends on the trim of your car, what it is that you're doing. And then the backstretch, also very fast section. And then that entire complex after the carousel is also pretty much flat out. So yeah, that means that there's opportunities for, if something goes wrong, that it's going to be a very spectacular incident. Luckily, those 2 that you've mentioned, no major injuries or anything like that. I still, whenever I see Catherine Legg's incident, I'm like, man, how? And it's great to see that she was fine, but what an incident. Do you remember in turn 5, like, I don't know, I'm gonna say around 98, when, I'm not sure if it was PJ Jones or who was it that landed on top of Brian Herta's car?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. It was just in the brake zone, and they both were slow enough that PJ didn't go up over Herta's car. He just landed on top of Herta's car.
It was so weird, such a knot. I remember
more in excess of 185 down the backstretch going into Canada Corner. Got on push to pass.
Yeah, so very, very fast. Yeah, I remember when because they kind of had cut to commercial, and then they came back, and it was just like a sandwich of a car, two car on top of each other. And I was like, what? as Brito has a great run here on ODML. He's looking to the inside on turn 1. He's going to make the move happen. Move Alan Brito up to 6. But he was trying to come back. Let's see, he can get a good exit here. And he actually does. Let's see where he goes. He goes to the outside. He's going to be able to brake a little bit deeper if he wants, but he decides better of it. Not that great of an idea to go side by side entering turn 5. Live to fight another day. Will Weiser is also getting closer here. And Emil is the only one of this group that is currently on the alternate tires. So we know that those degrade after a while. They went into the pits lap 14. Currently is lap 21. So that means 7 tires. 7 tires. 7 laps in the tires. Imagine 7 tires. That would be weird. So I think he's still good, but we saw that there's there's that drop off that starts happening around maybe lap 10. So he's going to want to keep an eye on that. And I imagine that our leaders are going to keep that set stashed until the very, very last stint to try and make it a little shorter. And that's why they have also been saving a little bit of fuel. We'll see. We'll see how that develops.
That last stint should be the shortest of the stints. Here's the weather situation. 106 degrees on the track, temperature 69 ambient. Humidity is 92%, which means the air is pretty saturated. Will we get some weather later in this event? It is possible. It is possible. There is a 36 to 37% chance of rain through the course of this race. So we shall see. And then everybody, if you haven't made the tire switch and you do go to rain compounds, that will count as a compound switch. But we will see if we get there. Watching this battle between Menino in 5th, Brito in 6th, Nadi Immel in 7th, and Will Weiser in 8th. And peeping into the picture now is Logan Edwards. So we have a 5-car train from 5th on back.
That's still your best battle on track. Although Green has closed up with Brensberg. That would be for 13th place. Not the best exit for Green there on entering turn 5. So he loses a little bit of ground to Rensberg. Also, Gonzalo Romero has kind of stalled behind Rob Maleshka. It seems like they have very similar pace because he has been stuck at around 6 tenths of a second, between 6 and 8 tenths of a second every single lap. And that's what happens when you are, mirroring pretty much your lap times. Like we said, you can catch somebody, but then making the move is entirely different thing. Weiser getting closer to Emil, though, here. We're going back to that battle between 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And Edwards as well. I mean, I guess at some point they need to start moving forward. And I would imagine that Logan Edwards is not going to be very happy being behind all these guys. Try and force the issue.
Nadi on the alternate tires, but everyone else around in this battle are on the prime tires.
Yeah, and Logan has been like 3 to 4 tenths quicker than this entire group.
Oh, he's going to take a big to the inside on Weiser in the 5, and he clears him.
Great move there by Logan.
Uphill, blind left-hander at 6. Then in the 7, very quick 7th turn there, downhill into 8th. This is called Hurry Downs. Then out of 8 into 9 and 10 in the carousel. Out of the carousel, then they set up for the kink in 11. Right here. Using every inch of the racetrack and then some. They were talking about the new, grasscrete surface there. It's kind of a latticed concrete type surface there in real world. Grass kind of grows up through it, but if you dip your tires there, you're not dipping your tires off into dirt. You're dipping your tires kind of off onto something with marginally better grip than dirt.
Yeah. At least something resembling grip.
Minato on push to pass. He is now less than 100 seconds, but he is about halfway through this race anyway, so he's on pace. But he has used that button the most of anyone in the top 5.
And Logan Edwards had a great run on Naughty Amel. He just ran out of straightaway, but he's going to keep trying. That's a good exit here. I don't think it's going to be enough to build a run.
So checking in from the infield care facility, we see some reports. Christian Hilgard says, well, that was embarrassing. Hey, at least you didn't do it on the pace lap. At least you didn't do it on the pace lap. And that is brutally shot fired. I'm very sorry about that. And I have done more embarrassing stuff than that. I will not say anything else. So it just proves that Christian Hilgard is human just like the rest of us. And he also says Desnoyer's got the fuel bug. Are you familiar with the fuel bug? And can you explain the fuel bug?
I mean, yeah, sometimes it just doesn't put any fuel in there. So you mark that you're going to have, if you want to have X amount of gallons, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't add it. Like, it seems like everything's fine, it's checked, you get them out of the pits, and turns out that you didn't add anything. And you just don't find out until you're punching it out of pit road. So that would explain why he was going so slow. He was not going to be able to make another lap, and that's why he punched out of the car. Oh man, that sucks. Edwards here is making a move on ML. We'll talk about that. That's very unfortunate that two of the contenders that were running 1 and 2 kind of get taken out
at the same time.
Yeah,
this is some just weird stuff going on at the same time.
Weird circumstances. Yeah, and I wouldn't say that was embarrassing at all from Christian. I mean, honestly, the amount of dumb things that I've done is immeasurable, and I never even get to do them in a big to a big audience, right? So he had the fastest lap. He set a crazy fast pole time. He was leading the race. He saved a spin that can happen to pretty much anybody that's racing aggressively, of course, because you want to keep that lead. And then, spinning the wheels a little bit more and smacking the wall. That's also because he was so close to the end of the wall, right? Because of the pit stop that he had. So it was just a thing that can happen. I mean, it sucks that he's out of the race, but I can understand the frustration.
Yeah, brother, do not be embarrassed. I have done far worse than that.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was trying to say. Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, I have done far worse than that. Watching this battle as Berteau running down Minino for 5th. He is right there and might be close enough at the end of the front straight. I don't think so. He's inching closer. We are now 10 laps into this stint for a lot of these drivers, so next round of pit stops are just around the corner. I think most everyone is committed to the 3-stopper.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think Berteau necessarily wants to get by Menino. Right now, Menino has good pace, and it's helping his fuel economy, Berteau says. So I think he's just happy to ride behind him for now.
Yeah, you're right. If Berteau gets around Minino, there is the next nearest car is 10 seconds up the road. He's going to take a shot to the inside, going in the 5. And here comes Logan Edwards. Shows what we know. Logan Edwards on the inside. And here comes Will Weiser.
That was... I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, yeah, it shows what we know. But then maybe this is what I think is happened. And, bear with my conspiracy theory and my tinfoil hat. Menino came into the pits lap 13. That's a tiny bit early to make it work without saving a ton of fuel for your last stint. As you see, Will Weiser going by Menino as if he was stopped. I think what started happening was Menino realized that, oh no, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I need to save more fuel. So he kind of switched that, and that meant that everybody that didn't want to pass him had to pass him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he pits next time by.
Yeah, Menino pitted on, he's out on the racetrack, so he has bypassed the entry to pit road. He pitted 13 coming to 14, while everyone else did 14 coming to 15.
Yeah.
And that is 4 miles difference, which is huge. You know, that's a full lap here. That's 4 miles around this course. That is a big fuel deficit.
It's a ton. So I think right now what he's doing is saving as much as possible. And I started doing that maybe a couple laps ago. As here comes Logan Edwards over Brito. I don't think Brito is going to fight that at all. I think he's actually happy that he gets again another car that he can just, be behind and have great fuel economy. But if Menino is able to save a little bit more fuel,
well,
he should be able to pit with these guys.
Logan Edwards is now leading this pack. He is up to 5th. He passes Brito. I think Brito, I think you might have been correct in what Brito was wanting to do. It's actually what happened with the decision with the driver in front of him. Menino goes, no, I don't want to be punching a hole in the air for these guys while I'm burning fuel, and I had to stop early. I'm going to let everyone pass me as Kraus goes purple. Nunez goes purple. He answers Kraus right away. And now Brito, who was intent on just following Menino, now is leading the pack. He sees behind him Logan Edwards got around. He goes, whoa, Menino gets having problems at Thunder Valley. Does he come to pit road this time?
I think he will.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
and right in front of him, Nani
no
Emmel comes to pit road as well. And right behind him is Gonzalo Romero. But Logan Edwards, he decided that he possibly has enough, or decides that, I'm tired of kind of being behind in the dirty air from someone, even though he has Noah Flugie in front of him as lap traffic. But it puts Brito back into the situation where he was able to stay behind a car and save fuel in the draft. Also being pulled along in this train is Will Weiser. He's up 9 spots. He is your biggest gainer inside the top 10. Your biggest gainer of the day is this guy in 13th, A.J. Pritchett, coming to pit road right now in the Snap-on Tools Dallara. He started shotgun on the field, 26th, moving on up.
Up to 13. That's a great drive for him so far. Don't look back now, but when this stint started, Rob Maleshka was around 5 seconds back from this group that we have been following, Edwards, Brito, Weiser, etc. That is down to 2.8 seconds, so don't count the king out of this one.
Kraus on pit road. Marcus Nunez on pit road. Kevin Burrell on pit road. Will Lyon should be making the turn to pit road. We'll see here. If not, he's been back there saving fuel. Nope, he is coming to pit road. Now will we see Logan Edwards come to pit road with this whole train of cars behind him?
I think they're all coming. Here comes Edwards.
No, Will Weiser going 1 lap longer.
Wow.
And that's pretty considerable savings, because if there's one thing that we really know about these cars is the number of laps that you can turn here is pretty finite at Road America. It is 13, 14, 15. That's it. I mean, you can't do much more than that. And the fact that Weiser can go to 15th lap, that is pretty good.
That is great. And then he also came right behind Nunez, so he's going to have a little bit of draft from that guy, and that way he's not going to have to burn all of his fuel, or maybe go to a leaner fuel mixture. So that's huge. He might be able to jump many of the guys that he was racing with.
If you noticed, everyone using all of the out of bounds in turn 5 to make that turn now. That is regular on the in the community now. I think they saw the real IndyCar drivers doing that for real, starting as of a couple years ago, and then everyone started mimicking it here in the sim, and now everybody 4 wheels on the other side of the curbs.
I mean, if it's faster, why not? And
Why
if
not?
the team doesn't punish us, why not?
Hey, if iRacing's not going to give you an X, then it's perfectly legal.
Yeah, no, exactly. Great stint from Weiser here.
Today's race coverage is brought to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. Here comes Will Weiser to pit road.
Oh, and Malechka actually jumped Naughty Emil, Dave Menino. That train has shifted backwards. Edwards and Berto, they're next to each other as they were before the pit stops. Then Emil Menino have now joined with Malechka. See how that develops. And Gonzalo Romero is also part of this train. He's on the alternate tire, so he's going to have to be aggressive. We know, we've seen it. Ooh, he gets a little bit squiggly there.
Malechka with the 13th highest I rating here on the roadside here. Someone's got to wear the 13th. Throw luck into the air. Screw it. And out in front of him is Will Weiser.
Yeah, I was about to mention that he came out in front of Malechka, but cold tires, you need to get him up to speed quickly. He does have a good buffer and should be able to catch up with Breton and Edwards up front.
There are your weather conditions. Speaking of those, here is your push-to-pass situation. Hopefully I will not leave this graphic up as long as I did last time. Kraus 160, Nunez 122, Burrell 164. Lyon hasn't even touched the button, which is not unheard of around here. And that is pretty much his tip. That is very typical, his MO of his driving style. He will use them late in the race. But he is still with his full allotment of 200 seconds. Edwards at 107, Bruteau at 104, Weiser 110, Malechka at 171. Emil is our button spammer in the top 10 right now. He's at 87, and Romero at 169. Phil Kraus goes purple that time by.
Yeah, 143.53. That's crazy fast. As Rob Malechka is getting closer and closer to Will Weiser. Remember, its tires are still getting up to speed, or up to temps, actually.
The kart track record set by Paul Tracy here in 2000 with a time of 1:39.6. Colton Herta has the IndyCar record set in 2023 with a time of 1:40.8. Your career wins leaders here are Mario Andretti, Emerson Fittipaldi, and Michael Andretti, each with 3 wins. Will Power, Alex Palou, Joseph Newgarden, Scott Dixon, Bruno Junqueira, Paul Tracy, and Jacques Villeneuve each have 2. And your defending champion here coming into this weekend at Road America is Will Power. So if Will Power gets another win here, he will join Mario, Emerson, and Michael.
I hope he does. It's such a bummer to see him win the pole last week.
Romero wide in 5. Yeah, it was a rough weekend altogether for Team Penske at Gateway.
Yeah, no kidding. 3 super fast cars. They, in an alternate universe, they would have easily, swept the podium.
I jinxed. I admit. I mean, if you followed the conversation in the IndyCar or the iRacing IndyCar community Discord, I said after Joseph Newgarden took the lead, he was so dominant up to that point. I said, that's it. It is now his race to lose. And I did say commentators jinx, but I did say that it's his race to lose. And about 20 laps later, that's when he was on his lid.
Oh, man. And, testament to the safety of those cars, but so happy that, nothing really happened to him. But it was pretty funny watching that Fox coming back from commercials, and it was actually Joseph Newgarden pointing down at the car, and then they cut to the live footage of him just
it was a Joseph Newgarden promo package to go to break. And then all of a sudden they come back immediately with his car upside down on the front stretch.
I mean, it's comedic gold. you cannot make that up.
Hector Rybacki won the first ever IndyCar race here in the early 80s.
Yeah, go Hector.
Yeah, but if you want to try to find that race, it is one of the few races, IndyCar races in the 80s that was not televised.
Yeah.
The last two non-televised IndyCar races have been here at Road America. Was that initial race, I believe it was 83, Hector Rybacki won. But there are highlights of it that ESPN ran during one of their racing shows. There was a highlight package there. And then in 86, they had to move this race around because of how they had to reschedule the rest of the season because of the Indy 500. And when they came here for the first time in 86, it rained so badly that they got through like the opening lap or so, and they're like, that's it. The rain was too bad. There was a big wreck on the backstretch that involved Al Unser Jr., so they decided to halt the race too, and they rescheduled it for October. Now, October in Wisconsin, it is starting to get pretty nippy up there. And the weather for that race was just as bad. They did not have a TV partner at the time. That race was not televised. So the last non-televised IndyCar race in modern history was right here at Road America in 1986. And that is the reason why. It's just, I believe all the TV crews, or what TV crews they had available, that was in the middle of the NFL season. And even back then, football was more important than IndyCar racing. Now they just want to get the IndyCar season done before the football season starts.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to me that we can have lost media from that recently. Like, 86 is, well, I guess almost 40 years ago, but still, it's not that far away, and we had already a ton of ways to, record that media, to preserve it. Like, if it was in the 50s, well, duh.
Yeah.
Or even the 60s, maybe even 70s, it's far easier to believe. But late 80s, 86, that's like, man, we already had a ton of things available to the general public. Like, you were able to record things on your, VHS, the Beta, I think it was called. The
Beta,
first one.
Sony Beta,
yeah.
Yep.
Sony Beta, I remember my parents used to, record things from the TV. So you had means of doing it. And of course, in the TV station as well, they had also tape, and they had a way of preserving it. So it's so interesting to me when there are things like that, hey, no, it's lost forever. There is no footage available anywhere. Like, man, that sucks.
There is a YouTuber that also has a pretty good following on Twitter, goes by the name of Hickey, and he has a channel on YouTube, and he has posted what lost footage there is of that Road America race very recently. I mean, it is literally maybe 90 seconds worth of video. But should check that out. It involved seeing the wreck on the backstretch involving Al Unser Jr. As the sun now is peeking behind the clouds, I think we're starting to get a little bit of a cloud cover now over the racetrack.
Give us the rain. Something happened to Gonzalo Romero. Trying to find what
Gonzalo Romero back on lap 33. What happened?
The kink beat him. Oh yeah, goes too wide, tries to correct it, goes right into the wall. That's race done for Gonzalo.
We're watching a full speed replay of Gonzalo Romero going wide. Oh! He caught it, though. He could have easily ping-ponged back across the track, taking out that next car, but he rolls to the inside and toes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But he went a little wide entering the kink, and that typically means that either you lift or maybe you get a tiny bit lucky and you're able to kind of catch it and make make that move happen, but he overcorrected a tiny bit, and that is it. Beyond the hook now, he got passed by a couple of cars right now.
Rugna in one of those Andretti Auto Sports DNS filter liveries. He is off the pace at the moment.
Maybe he ran out of fuel. Last time he paid lap 20.
He is 13 laps into his stint. He is at the extreme window, and he's parking it and towing it on the backstretch right at the kink.
And yeah, that sucks. He tried to make it last, right? but yeah, it's such a long race course that.
Well, that's the challenge of the race course. It's such a long race course. One little mistake, because there's so many high-speed zones, one little mistake in these quarters, it is next to impossible to make that time back up on the racetrack. You have to turn every single lap. If you want a fast lap, every single spot on this race course needs to be picture perfect.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And that is a done for Guillaume. He has disconnected.
And the bad part here, if you mess up your lap, it's another 2 minutes before you really get a chance to make that lap back up then. You know what I mean? It's so long around this place that you got to finish with the remainder of your lap, start again, and it's another, minute 45, minute 44 around this place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still love the track, but yeah, it's so long. And if you make a mistake, like you said, it's like, oh man, I have to do another lap around this place. And if you have a damaged car or something of that nature, it's even worse. Especially if you have damage or something happens to you in the first section of the track. It's like, oh, I need to go all the way around. Blah, don't want to do that.
Now here, of course, you can just punch out and tow and practice or something, just reset to the pits. But in real racing, you have to go back all the way around the entire 4 miles. Let's say you mess up turn 1, your whole lap's done. The best thing you got to do is bring the packed car around, start your lap again, and not mess up turn 1 again.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and your buddy Will Stearns checking in from chat. Do you want to talk about that story?
That is a crazy story. So, in the 500, we were there for, and a ton of us were, around there. But the funny thing is, sitting right next to me, there's somebody that starts talking about iRacing. When, and I don't mean to poke fun at Scott McLaughlin, but once he wrecked, it was like even before the green came out. So that was like, oh no, that's a very iRacing moment. And then when Marco wrecked and we had that lap 1, turn 1 incident, somebody said, man, that's just like iRacing. And I was like, I know iRacing. I do iRacing all the time. So that's where we started chatting, and lo and behold, that's Will Stearns that's sitting right next to me on the grandstands of turn 4. And man, we had a blast. It was so much fun to find somebody randomly, because I had met a couple of teammates and some other guys, but we had planned for it, right? We made it happen. And for it to happen just organically, I didn't even know that Will was going to be there at the 500. And man, such a lovely person, and he was really enjoying it. It was his first 500 as well, so it was such a blast, and so fortunate to have been able to share that with him. And yeah, but it's still such a fortuitous thing. Like, you wouldn't think that in a crowd of 400,000 people you would find somebody that sitting right next to you without planning ahead for it.
Right, the randomness is I always say, though, when you show up to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you go to the 500, you are always surrounded by 300,000 of your best friends, because you're all there for the same reason. You all love the IndyCar racing, you all love the Indy 500, so it's hard not to make friends there. But the fact that you send next to just happen, out of all those 400,000, 300,000 people, that you just happen to sit next to someone that you've raced against on a semi-regular basis, or even just a couple times at iRacing, the randomness of that happening is, I would say the odds aren't, exactly great, but the randomness of that happening is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that was a little bit more, baffling to me. Like, oh man, how? But yeah, no, that was something great. We got a picture together. A lot of fun. If somebody is on the fence of going to the Indy 500, go to the 500. It's one of the best things you can see live.
Yeah, if that's a bucket list item, just get it ticked off. Come on into Indianapolis. Do it. New camera angle over the engine cowling of the Phil Krause Dallara. This harkens back to a camera angle that ABC used back in the mid-90s. You saw it in the Indy 500, also on Robbie Gordon's car. This gives you an idea.
Kind of reminds me of the IndyCar Racing 2. They had a camera. It was a little bit more to the side, but I love that.
This is my favorite of the Robbie Gordon cam. And this camera angle will be completely useless if it rains, because that'll be all spray probably. But
right.
Oh, dipping off a tire there, flipping off the grass. Phil Krause, your leader, should be another 2 to 3 more laps before he comes in for his pit stop. Actually, 4 more laps. He came in 14 laps into his last stint.
Yeah, he should be able to make it until 42. Yeah. Right now, enjoying a 4.6 second lead over Marcus Nunez. They're still, 4.6 seconds sounds like a lot. It's not a lot, especially not at Road America. Last time by, Marcus Nunez was quicker by 0.3 of a second. So you never know. Things might change. The tire, the temperature of the track might change. It may benefit one of the setups over the other. Phil Krause is about to catch lap traffic. We don't know if they're going to yield or not. They don't need to yield.
No.
There is not much use here. I can totally understand the rule in real life in the car, because if a caution comes out, well, you're back in it. Over here, since we don't have really any full course yellows, you're not going to benefit from it if you are kind of fighting for staying on the lead lap. But still, there are circumstances that can happen. And, the gap just went down to 4.4. So I started talking about this when they were at 4.6. Well, that's down another 0.2. So we don't know. And we don't know how these cars are going to perform on the alternate tire, because both of them, both Krause and Nunez, they have to go to the alternate compound next. But let's reset the field. We haven't done that in a while.
Sure.
And we will do it again after pit stops. But we have Phil Krause, who is currently leading. He's second is being followed by Marcus Nunez. Third is Kevin Burrell, another of the Fiesta forward cars. Fourth, we can find Will Lyon. There's a big gap there between Burrell and Lyon. That's 29 seconds between them. So realistically, it is a battle for the podium between these three guys, unless something really weird like what happened at Detroit a couple of weeks ago happens. I don't want to jinx it, so that's why I'm also getting it out of the way right now. Running fifth, we can find Logan Edwards, and there's still, that group, that train that has been together most of the race. It's there. There's Will Weiser running seventh. I skipped Alan Berteau, who is running sixth. Rob Moleshka, a little bit further back from these guys, but still very close. He's running eighth. And Nutty Emil, very, very close to Moleshka, running ninth. And Dave Menino rounds out the top 10. He is around 5 seconds behind this group, so he kind of lost touch with them. But, he's been running in the top 10 for the entire race, so, good for him. some pit stops starting already.
Yeah, right
with
now,
some of the
Lawrence
guys
Baylor,
yeah, these guys are not going to be able to make it. Rendsburg, Baylor, I know that they had to dip in early because of some incidents that they have. But right now, this means that they're going to go in, and they will still need to pit a little later. Well, maybe not, because they are a lap down, so they should be able to make it. Phil Krause is actually moving by Jason Green, put him 11th, a lap down.
Kraus just went purple last time by.
Oh, so yeah, that entire thing that I was talking about.
It's now 5 seconds. It's now 5 seconds.
He's like, oh yeah, you think he's getting closer? Here, let me put another 5/10 on him. Okay, I hear you, Phil. I will not doubt you. Oh, Shady Emil goes by Rob Maleshka.
Oh, yes. Doesn't clear him by much, but clears him.
Let's see that again.
We can go back and watch how this set up coming out of the corner. I think Robert dipped a little bit of his left rear off into the dirt, and that cost him some momentum coming off of 14, and then a big run by Naughty in the draft, down the front straight, up the hill. And at this point, he's within attacking position, takes a shot to the inside, and there's not much Robert can do there.
Then kind of clears himself and goes to Robert's lane, but no harm, no foul. Good move by Naughty, and move him up to 8th.
And he definitely does do the Brazilian clear on Robert there.
It was a little aggressive, but Pritchard and Zier on pit road for their last pit stop. They should be able to make it from here to the end, especially because they are a lap down, so no problem. And Brichard, he has. It seems like he's very happy just running behind. As Rob Maleshka retakes that position on Naughty Emil. Oh, Naughty went wide on the kind of the corner.
Oh, Naughty coming to pit road.
Last pit stop for Naughty and Menino. They both went only... Yeah, they had to come a lap earlier, so this is not going to help them because they need now to go to the alternates. And we have seen that it does degrade after around 10 laps. So the last 3-4 laps of the stint, they are going to be suffering a little bit. As opposed to most of these guys, they're going to enjoy them rather than have to suffer through them.
Right, yeah, and it's going to be a short stint, too. Kind of interesting up through the standings. There's, with the way that some of the faster cars have had trouble today and have had to fall down through the order, everybody on the racetrack, with the exception of one car, has gained positions today. The only car that has not gained any positions is Robert Maleshka. He is down 2, but everyone else currently showing green on the board as gaining positions during this race. Your biggest gainers of the day: AJ Pritchett with 10, Loris Baylor with 10, Will Weiser with 9. Those are your 3 biggest gainers of the day. Your leader on pit road, Phil Krause, up 2. He's been your leader since picking up the lead after the first round of pit stops when Desnoyers kind of overran his marks. And here comes Phil out.
Yeah,
Go
they
ahead.
started racing here. No, they started racing here. Edwards, Bertrand, Weiser. They're getting a little bit more aggressive. Let's see if Weiser stays out. He does. We expected that to happen.
Berteau and Weiser coming to pit road. Robert Maleshka coming to pit road. Staying out is Weiser, which we expected. Will Lyon on pit road.
Going back to the leader, Phil Krause is right now in heavy traffic, but he does have a comfortable lead of 5.7 seconds over Nunez. Should be able to make quick work of these guys, but like we said, they're not forced to move out of the way.
Nope. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's coverage of the IIS Saturday Top Split presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Road America, where PK is your leader. As we are coming to 10 to go here very shortly. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us is Wednesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time as the series heads to Mid-Ohio for the 4th of July weekend. That's why, getting dicey around the leader.
Yeah, I don't think Phil is very happy about that.
And the car in front of him, a big twitch too. But because of the July 4th holiday, that's why we're having the Wednesday race splits instead of waiting for the weekend. I figured people might be, I don't know, barbecuing, lighting stuff off, blowing stuff up, drinking, probably, if you're blowing stuff up, doing American things. You know what I mean. Anyways, I figured they would be doing that instead of wanting to get in and do iRacing in the middle of the afternoon. So we will have the Wednesday special presentation of the Wednesday Top Split on the IIS, July 2nd. Make sure to make a note of it and don't miss it. And also in December, P1 Broadcasting becomes a primetime home for Happy Hour at the Brickyard. It'll be your nightly destination for all the action leading up to the prestigious PRI Hoosier 500. The last kiss of the bricks for 2025 will be right here on P1 Broadcasting. The countdown is on. Pucker up and don't miss a second of the action. Like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in, and we'll see you in December one more time at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the last dance of the year on the bricks.
And looking forward to that. Should be a ton of fun.
They are expecting over 100 entries for the PRI Hoosier 500, so everybody needs to be on their game for that one just to make the field. Over 100 entries, and only a third of them are going to get a chance to race.
Yeah, and a lot of really, really good drivers there, so it's going to be very hard to make that field.
Marcos Nunez now approaching that traffic that PK just got through. Let's see if he has a better time of it now that those guys are a lap down. Top 10 are the top last cars on the lead lap. Everybody outside of the top 10 is one lap down at the very most, or very least. Kraus goes purple that time by.
42.6. Crazy, crazy fast. And that's what the alternates will do.
But we all know Phil Kraus hails from a different planet than us, so he throws down purple laps like it's no big deal.
Oh, Weiser came out in front of Edwards.
Weiser having a good day, up 11 spots, up the 5th. The last couple of races have not been really, really good for him. So he is trying to wash off the dirty previous finishes at Detroit Gateway. Get a good one here at Road America. And it's kind of a contrast of road courses. We're going to another permanent road course next at Mid-Ohio, but Mid-Ohio, narrow, short, and much more twisty than this place. Not a lot of places to pass at Mid-Ohio. Maybe one straight right before going to China Beach at the end of, right after the keyhole. Yeah. That's about it there at Road America, or excuse me, Mid-Ohio. Mid-Ohio is kind of quite the opposite place than Road America is.
Yeah, and super technical. You do get stuck behind cars, and the walls are also a little bit closer, so you cannot get away with making pretty much any mistakes there. It's a much more technical track, I would say. There are a lot of elevation changes, constant elevation changes, because you do have a ton of elevation changes here at Road America as well, but they are a little bit more, managed in a way that they are going like progressively. Instead, with Mid-Ohio, they are kind of very abrupt. That unsettles the car in multiple different ways. So it makes it more of a battle between car and track, except as opposed to being car and track versus other drivers, right? So I would say that you asked at the beginning of the show, what makes Road America so fun and so beloved. And I think it captures that that sentiment of oval racing overall, that you're not just racing the track, you're racing the other drivers around you, and you can do both of these things here in Road America. Now, I don't want to diminish Mid Ohio. It's also a great facility, just one that I'm not very good at because it's very technical. But it does present a whole different set of challenges for drivers, and more fine-tuned about making sure that you make your marks, you hit all of them perfectly, because otherwise you're going to lose a ton of time or even end up in the wall. Whereas it's a little bit more permissive here.
And if you look at Mid Ohio, you'd be led to believe it has some of the same features as Road America. It has a carousel, it has a Thunder Valley, but it is completely different in terms of how it's laid out, the technical portions of it, the straights of it. And even in real IndyCar racing, they used to do green flag starts on the main stretch, but the main straight there is so small, they moved the starts of the race to coming out of the keyhole, which is turn 2. Down the straight there before getting into turn 3 in the China Beach area. That's where they start the race. I wish iRacing would allow an alternate start-finish line for those type of races, but everyone's going to have to start using that tiny little bit of front stretch at Mid-Ohio, which always leads to a very interesting first turn at Mid-Ohio. You don't want to miss it. That is in a couple of weeks, right before the July 4th holiday, though, right there at Mid-Ohio, as we are getting into the heart of the IndyCar schedule for 2025.
Yeah, typically very, very chaotic turn 1.
Loris Baylor with a black flag speeding on pit road will have to make a stop and a drive through.
Oh, that sucks. And it's easy to do. You're going full bore, and what I don't understand is why they're trying to make him on wheel wiser, though, especially with a black flag and being a lap down.
Yeah, it's not like you can appeal it. It's not like you can appeal it in real life,
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if there was like a button we could push to appeal. Appeal denied. Appeal denied. Try it again. One more time. Appeal denied.
I would press it no matter what. If there was an option.
Be spamming that button.
I would spam the hell out of it. Well, things seem to have settled down just a tiny bit. Let's go through the field again. Right after pit stops, after everything has been said and done, this is the final stretch of the race. We have Phil Krause leading by 6 seconds right now over Marcus Nunez. Kevin Burrell rounds out the podium currently. He's running third, 14 seconds behind Krause. And we have Will Lyon, who is 46 seconds behind Krause. Weiser is currently running fifth. They are very close together. That group, again, Weiser, Logan Edwards, and Alan Bertell, they're still very close, although there's a 2-second gap between Weiser and Edwards, so 5th and 6th might not be challenged that much. But Alan Bertell is 5/10 behind Edwards.
Whoa,
he has been for the entire race, though.
Whoa. Baylor making a dive to the inside of Will Lyon going into turn 1.
That's what I don't understand. And if I was Will, I would just let him go. Like, well, what are you trying to accomplish? You're a lap down with a black flag. And that's just a dangerous situation for Will, I think.
Again, you got 5 laps to answer a black flag, and that is an eternity here at Road America.
True. I mean, I guess he's trying to fight Rensburg behind him, but again, if you have that black flag, it's like, well, it's kind of a moot point. Just serve it and be done with it. But that's just me. As Rensburg goes super wide, touches the grass, he almost dies. Able to save it, though. I mean, it's typically instant death when you do that, but that's one of the cool things about the new version of the car. You're able to control it. After you make a mistake, you can get away with it. So that's a ton of fun. It allows you to be a lot more aggressive. And look at that, he already caught back up to Baylor here.
If Baylor makes that, let's see if Baylor bails here.
There you go.
There is the move off to the pit access road.
Going back to the current standings, Edward 6th, Bertel 7th, Rob Maleshka, who currently running 8th. He's kind of in an island of his own. He's 2 seconds back from Bertel. He has 4.5 seconds on Nutty Amel, who is currently running 9th. Great race by Nutty, though. He has been in the top 10 pretty much all race. Same goes to Dave Manino, who has been there in the top 10 pretty much the entire second half of the race after those incidents that happened with the guys from Fiercely Forward, the Zoyers and Hildegard. He is 10th, 12 seconds off of Nutty. That's, yeah. That's your top 10.
Closest battle continues to be that right in the mid pack here in the top 10 for 6th, 7th, 8th.
And you know, another great race by Field Krause. Just wanted to go back and then talk to him a little bit, talk about him a little bit, because we haven't. But that strategy that he did, you know, not necessarily pushing that much during the first two stints actually, that he was behind the Fiercely Forward cars, just, you know, be with them, stay with them all the time until he had the opportunity to go and get side by side with them on pit road and then beat them over there. And he hasn't looked back at it. You mentioned it in some other broadcasts that, you know, the easiest way to pass somebody is when they're sitting on pit road, and that's pretty much what Krause did, and he hasn't really looked back from there. So, you know, it's always great to see PK deliver.
And he has already won one split this week. He won the Friday 4 p.m. Eastern time slot. And their top split, he beat Alex Nogue and Marcos Nunez. So he is making a regular habit of beating the Fiercely Forward squad. Fiercely Forward's probably like, we could beat anybody but PK right now. So I'm assuming that is their top target of interest, as everybody needs to figure out how to beat PK.
I mean, there's been many teams trying before.
Well,
I don't think anybody has made it.
As the saying goes by Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And on so many of these tracks, whether it be ovals or road courses, PK is the man in this car. Remember, he nearly won the Pro Series. Yeah. Unfortunately, got beat out by the many hired guns that showed up for the Pro Series. But really, PK is the man.
And he was very close, actually. I mean, he had a couple of incidents that shouldn't have been there. I remember the one at Laguna Seca that he had, where he was forcing the issue, something a little bit uncharacteristic from him, which led to a DNF, lost a ton of points there. If he didn't have that incident, he would have potentially come to, was it Gateway, the last one? I think it was.
Yeah.
With a, you know, really, really good shot at winning the championship. But alas, I mean, he still was there, right?
And there's still no official word on if the Pro Series will return for this season. We hope there is, but we have not heard any rumors or anything that said it is coming back right now.
Right, because we should start qualifiers around
July,
yeah. Right? Yeah.
If it holds true from where last year, looking, I kind of marked opening day of the Pro Series as July 17th, something like that. And that would be the first of the qualifying races. So we have yet to hear anything. And we are inside a month of that possibly happening. So we'll continue to keep our ears to the ground But Phil did pretty good. He finished second. Got a nice payday out of it. So if anyone needs a short-term loan.
And the other thing is he gets to keep the flex, which is the license, the black license, shows up as a pro driver. Same with Rob. They both can sport that for a little while longer.
Yeah, if the series returns, they finish tying up in the standings. That they get the automatic bid to return to the series. They do not have to qualify.
Yeah,
which means there will be fewer qualification spots available this time around, since there are guaranteed drivers if the Pro Series returns.
Hey, looks like Logan Edwards has caught back up with Will Weiser. Will is on that alternate tire. It doesn't seem to be doing that great for his setup. Edwards has really cut into that lead last time by a second and a half quicker than Weiser. So I think he's going to be doing quick work for him.
He's going to take a shot to the inside going into turn 5. And, yeah, clears him pretty easily as the braking usefulness under high braking zones of those alternate tires are pretty much shot. Now, Will just kind of wants to hang on and hold on to this position, but now he falls under the immediate attack of Alan Boutreau, who is third in points in the championship, and we have not talked much about the championship. Kevin Burrell is your leader. He is third on the racetrack. He is ahead of all his key competition in this race, so he should extend his IIS points lead. He has 14 top fives and 19 starts, and that is really bowing his championship campaign here the most. Second in points is Nathan Moore, who's not in today's lineup, but Nathan's championship run is basically built upon consistency and not making a lot of mistakes. He has only 13 incidents all season long, 13 X's all season long, and 16 starts. So he averages less than one incident a race. That is amazing. And then Alan Boutreau, even though he has no wins in the races that he's been in, he has 7 top 10s and 14 starts. So he is building his campaign off consistency, but really the battle is between the top 2. Third place is pretty distant, and then after third place, it starts to tighten up a little bit. So we will watch as this. We're in the midway point of the IIS season, and we'll see how that shakes out. But as your top 3 and kind of how they got here so far.
Man, that's great, and consistency. As we just saw, Will Weiser kind of get out of the way for Alberto. He knew he was not going to be able to keep him behind. So. Good, smart driving by Will Weiser there. And, campaigns, especially as long as this one, they are built in consistency. You can be flashy and try crazy moves and win some races in spectacular fashion. And then some others wreck out of them because, I was trying to go for the win, but that really doesn't give you a championship. So, it's great to see that translate to the IAS. And Berto, I feel like every single week we're talking about him, right? Maybe not necessarily in a podium position, but right there, right next to them, like between 4th, 6th. That's always where he's gravitating, and he doesn't get in trouble. He's a very smart racer. He knows when to try and move, when to back out of it, and to finish first, he must finish.
Well, there's a reason that he's in that Fiercely Forward livery now. Exactly. He got noticed and one of the teams picked him up.
So we have Lilac Sear in the pits. They were not going to be able to make it all the way
on pit road.
Oh, that's even worse.
Black flag, yes. Oh, and we have a wobbly right front too. So this might be day done. So it doesn't really matter if they sped on pit road or not. This is a retirement for Lilac, unfortunately.
Oh no! This was the kink. Oh, they were going side by side in the kink. That's never a good idea. Goes a little bit wide, touches the grass, goes into the inside wall. That's day done for Lilac, who was having a good day. They were running in 13th position, but now out of the race. We're getting close to seeing the white flag for Field Krause.
There it is. White flag in the air. 4 miles to go for PK. A pretty much by the book for PK and the Power Slide squad. Picked up the lead by just making a better stop on the end of the first stint, and then has not looked back. Currently your leader, and using push to pass here on the last lap when he doesn't really need to.
But he still has 9 seconds left, so he's gonna press it. I'm
hey,
sure
smoke
of it.
him, smoke him if you got him. And he will use probably the remainder of that 9 seconds on the backstretch before he gets to Canada corner.
Yeah, you cannot bank him, so.
No, you cannot take him to the next race with you. This is not rollover minutes like the old cell phone days.
Man, I got that reference. I'm sure that not a lot of younger folks did.
I was engaging in a conversation. Someone last night says, hey, do you remember playing Quake V1V over modem with people? And I'm like, I remember loading games on TRS-80s, VIC-20s, and Commodore 64s with cassettes. So I've been there. But someone that's going to be there again right now, coming off of corner number 14 for the final time. A little wide, keeping it straight up the hill. PK gets the win here in the IIS top split here on Saturday. Your winner at Road America.
We have a couple of battles still to be decided. Nadi Amel and Rob Maleshka, one of them. The other one is Logan Edwards. I'm sorry, Breton, Will Weiser is trying to mount a comeback.
Oh, and Berteau missing a front wing. He is missing his left front wing plane, and he's lost it really at a bad time because he needed that downforce through the carousel, and Will Weiser gets on by for 6th.
I'm sure that must have happened between him and Logan Edwards. But the other battle is 4PA, Nadi Amel trying to make a move on Rob Maleshka coming here into Canada corner. Rob Maleshka has her lane, but there's a little bit of a
he switches
crossover.
over, goes to the inside now.
He's got the position, though.
He's got the position and slides right up in front of him. Needs to hold him off for just 2 more turns. Now 1 more turn. And that is no easy feat there. Nadi, pretty good. Getting the pass on the last lap over Robert Maleshka.
Yeah, that was a great pass. And Dave Manino, he's gonna come home 10th, and that's gonna be the race there.
And that is the last car on the lead lap there.
Man, I want to see what happened to Alan. We were just talking about, the consistency that he has.
Phil Krause with the win, 5 seconds over Marcos Nunez. Kevin Burrell in 3rd, so fiercely forward on the 2nd and 3rd steps of today's podium. Will Lyon leading the IAR effort in 4th. Logan Edwards 5th. Will Weiser 6th. Alan Boutreau 7th. And the closing stages there, missing his front wing. Nadi Amel passing Robert Maleshka in the last set of corners. Comes home 8th. Robert Maleshka 9th. Dave Menino in 10th. Jason Green comes home 11th. Freckleton in 12th. Pritchett in 13th. Andrew Petty 14th. George Rensburg in 15th. Baylor, Flugie, Zier, Darugna, and Romero, your top 20. Christian Hilgard with a day he wishes to forget along with his teammate, this Noyers, 21st and 22nd. Wright in 23rd. We missed what happened to Rashad Craig on the retirement, but we did see him go off into the kitty litter. He comes home 24th. McNichol, 25th. And Holden rounds out the remainder of the 26-car field.
And I just went back to see what happened to Alan Breton. Unfortunately, it wasn't even with Logan Edwards. It was with the lap car of George Rensburg.
Oh.
Who had a different braking marker, so he kind of ran into the back of him that took away his wing and had to run without a wing for pretty much the entirety of the lap because that incident happened in turn 3. So yeah, a little bit of a bummer for him, but fortunately for his campaign, not a lot of damage, resulting in dropping from 6th to 7th. We have guys waiting for interview.
And no rain. We made it through with no rain. That's, I hate to say that. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get the rain. It was in the forecast. It was there.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, honestly.
I don't want to wish anything bad on these guys, but I think everyone at home would love to see a rain race. The great equalizer, as they say in Formula One.
It would have been so much fun. Maybe not for the guy driving, but at least for us it would have been.
All right. Get into the interview room. I know Kevin's going to be able to talk to us here, and it is well into the early hours of another day for him in Japan. Here he is, Kevin Burrell, the general, comes on third. But the key point today, and I think we've talked about this before, is you just want to keep showing up, whether you get the wins or not. You want to keep showing up in the podium interviews, and you've done that again. And you finish ahead of all your key competition, and that's really the key to today. If you didn't get the win, you definitely are winning the war overall with a big finish over everyone else on a high strength of field race. Mission accomplished, I guess.
Yeah, 258 points. It's pretty good points. I mean, it's more than I got for winning on Wednesday, so I'll take that. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. I felt just a little off the pace today. I mean, my qual was not amazing, and then in the race, of course, in that first stint, for a while, I foolishly thought I was on the pace, and in reality, I was probably just being helped along by draft quite a bit. And then Phil had an insane pit stops the entire race. I think even Marcus was blown away by those. But yeah, I mean, I think we're moving our sets in a good direction, and now I just need to step up to the task. It feels like, but as you said, I mean, it's really good to get a nice podium here.
Talk about you said you just kind of had a feeling here. What did you kind of feel in the car that you knew that you kind of didn't have it today to challenge Phil, but you just basically said, okay, we have to lower expectations here. Let's just get the podium finish here. What feeling did develop that you felt in the car that just made you think that the overall pace to get to Phil wasn't there today? Besides looking at times.
when I got closer, when I got close to Phil or was holding on to him in the first stint, I had a moment where I got a bit loose behind him and lit up the rears and drifted through the grass, and it didn't seem like it actually hurt the pace for the whole stint. But I basically knew that if I was pushing myself any more than I was at that point, I didn't really have confidence. I felt like I was going to just make some kind of mistake, and I think that maybe just spooked me for the whole race into being just a little slightly safer, a little less track usage, a little less, confidence in getting on the throttle. And I think mentally it just took me out. I mean, it doesn't take much here to be 15 seconds off. Like, that's not even 0.3 a lap at this track, in this race. So I knew that it was just going to be tough from there. And then when we saw him just blast away in the pits, I was like, oh my God, but I can't say I feel too bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I know the potential is there. Marcus showed that it's there, basically, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, Road America maybe not a strength of mine as well, but getting closer, but it's still frustratingly far, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least it's in the rearview mirror. So unless you want to do some racing tomorrow, but Mid-Ohio's next. Our points leader in the IIS going to the next race. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, the Fiercely Forward gang, P1 Docs. Also to Alan, a fresh recruit who jumped in moments after the contract, ready to run this race. We're looking forward to seeing what he can do as well. Joining the Fiercely Forward 50 Cars Armada, I guess. It's looking good, and as much as I might sound dejected, I'm really stoked. I think we're heading in a really good direction, and I'm looking forward to the next season and of Open and the rest of this season. I think Mid-Ohio we might have rain. Am I thinking right? I think we might have rain. And if that's the case, that is going to be a crazy race. If so, we'll see.
Let me double check the forecast. The early forecast for I posted it here in our
Mid-Ohio. No rain. Portland will be rainy.
There it is. So there is. There it is. Mid-Ohio, chance of rain, none. Montreal, chance of rain, none. Laguna, chance of rain, none. Portland, 30% chance right now is the early forecast.
I think we will.
All right. Well, congratulations on the P3, hanging on there to survive when realizing the pace wasn't there. Didn't drown yourself. You kept your head above water and came home third. Congratulations. Points leader going into the next race, Kevin Burrell.
Yeah, see you around.
And let's bring up Luis Nunez here. This is the first time we get the chance to talk with Marcos Nunez. We don't want to bring up Mark Murphy. He will take all the time in the world if we let him talk. Here is Marcos Nunez. Marcos, first time we get a chance to talk to you here on the on P1. Congratulations on finishing second. You were the #1 iRating driver going into this race. But I'm guessing you're still fairly new to these cars, but talk about your experience here in the IndyCar at Road America.
Hello. I like the experience. I wanted to join the IndyCar crew in my team. And to be honest, when they did the update of the car, I expected a different car, but it is so cool to race anyway. And I enjoy a lot this race.
So are you still pretty new to the car, and what did you used to drive before doing IndyCar?
No, I drove the car 1 year ago when we raced the Indy VCO Championship.
Okay.
And I also tried the Pro Series, 2 or 3 races.
Oh, good.
So I have a bit of experience, but I'm still learning the car.
Still learning.
Marcos, I have to ask: is there any relationship between Marcos Nunez and Luis Nunez?
No, no.
Well, we have Luis Nunez, who's your teammate, and there's Marco Nunez, which is you, and then we have Luis Gonzalez Nunez, who is one of our broadcasters here. So we now have a whole host of Nunezes that we see now on the channel. Well, congratulations on the P2. Did you have anything? I know at some point during the race you were kind of swapping purple laps with Phil. Did you have anything for him, or did Phil really have the field covered this time?
In terms of pace, we were similar, but he was better in the pit stops. I don't know, he maybe was saving a bit more fuel or nailing more the actual pit stop, and he was pulling 1.5 seconds every pit stop. So I found difficult to try to fight him, because even if the pace was there, when the pit stop came, he pulled away always. So I couldn't fight with him.
Do you have any shout-outs, any friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go to celebrate this big P2 for you today?
My teammates. I want to thank my teammates because they are incredible. They work really hard, and I want to thank them.
Well, congratulations.
Briefly mention, congratulations on, you had 4 of the top 5 in qualifying. You were first, second, fourth, and fifth, so you have been making a lot of gains. And Kevin talked about it a little bit right before he did. So it looks like the entire Fiercely Forward crew is reaching new heights and making the challenge and beating the guys. I mean, typically in these kind of races, you would have somebody like Phil Krause just run away from the very beginning, flag to flag, and you're making him work for it. So take solace in that, and you're all heading in the right direction.
Thank you. We will improve.
No problem. We suspect we will see you at other races down the road, but congratulations on the P2 today. Marcos, good to have you on the broadcast.
Thank you.
And Marcos mentioned that Phil was so much faster than them in pit stops. And we'll just, this last stop, because this is the one last we have the numbers on, is the last stop.
We do have Phil.
And we will bring up Phil real quick here. And hold on. And let's bring in Phil right now. Phil, congratulations on the win. And really, this thing for you was won on pit road. Where you kind of got around them off, after coming to that first stop, and then after that, you never looked back. Talk about your race. It was really just after that first stint, it was your race to lose, and there was really no doubt about it, especially after that first stop, that this was you were going to win this race.
Not great in the dirty air the first stint. I was also trying to make 15 laps just to see if I could, to be honest. Just to offset myself from them, because it was 4 cars against 1. So I got blessed when Christian made his mistake, but he was closing back in on us. I don't know what happened with him on the pit cycle, but all I know is it DNF'd him. And then I know Kevin got the fuel bug because he came out of the pits and stopped immediately. Yeah. But got lucky to break Marco's draft with a really good pit stop, because I had to add 2.5 liters less or so, because I didn't end up getting anywhere near making 15, but I got enough to save about half a second on the refuel at least. So that helped me break draft, and then it was just managing that draft the next stint, and then just manage your pace and bring the car home the rest of the race.
What makes you so fast on pit road? I mean, that was what the guys were saying from Fiercely Forward, Marco specifically, is that the last stop, and this is all we have the numbers for. I mean, you were in the box 9.2 seconds. Marcos was in the box for 9.3. But overall on the lane, you were on the lane for 39.6. Marcos was on the lane for 40.2. And he said every time that you would come to a pit stop, you would always seem to pull away by another second, which makes sense if we look at these numbers. Is that something that you practice an awful lot, that comes down to just the finer details of how to manage a race? Is every aspect of the race that includes coming to and getting off of pit road as the most expedient as possible?
I don't think I did anything too insane on the pit stops today, to be honest. I know I was beating him on the in laps usually, so that probably helps a little bit. Maybe I'm just quicker into the lane itself, but my releases were all right. I wouldn't say they're insane or anything, but yeah, definitely worked at it a little bit for the Pro Series, but it's just kind of a set and forget now. So I don't know, to be honest.
Just start new habits, I guess. All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Just everyone on Powerslide Motorsports and Team Hype, partners at Ethica, and everyone who makes this possible. Jason for all the setup work, obviously, on the oval side. And I know we're not an oval, but still, Jason gets a little shout out. And then Adam and Rob definitely really helped with the Road America set.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Probably we'll see you hopefully in a couple of weeks when we get to Mid-Ohio. Until then, you take care.
Yep. Cheers.
All right. And joining us in the booth is JP Justin Petschauer. Justin, how'd you do in yours?
Well, I'll go first, and I'm going to let Mark Murphy join, because I'm just going to say this. Spoiler alert. He finished on the podium.
All right. Well, tell us your race report.
Qualified 12th, but the old-fashioned feeling went. There was probably going to be a bit of a schmozzle going into turn 1. Sure enough, somebody got punted off, and kitty litter got thrown on the track. I tried a different pit strategy. It somewhat worked, and then it the old saying goes, it backfired, not tremendously, but it backfired enough in our face to where we went from possibly finishing 10th, 11th down to one spot where we started, and that was 13th. But that's Road America for you. It's a fuel mileage race. You got to play the gamble as best you can, and just hope to God you don't make any mistakes, because this is, with how fast and flowing the track is, it's easy to make a mistake here when you least expect it. Doesn't matter if it's going into station 5, turn 1, hurry downs, even coming out of hurry downs before you get into the carousel. It's a driver's track. It's what makes it fun. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm beat. I'm drinking an electrolyte. Thank you, Paddle Award, for having that as a sponsor. I've been drinking that ever since, as a post-race drink, what have you. And I'm looking forward to a week off before we go to Mid-Ohio, because that's going to be even more of a challenge.
You were in a second split?
No, me and Mark were in third split.
Third split, okay.
I will say this. Come on, iRacing, don't tease us like that with the rain. All of us were getting so hyped for it, and then you basically have it coming right well after the race is done. At least give it to us halfway, please. Pretty please.
And also in the booth with us after finishing on the podium for the third split is Mark Murphy. Mark, real quick, how was your race?
It wasn't too bad. Kudos to everybody at Indy Alliance, the Rogue Alliance for the setup. Our car was really, really, really fast. I'm not used to starting up front in road course. We started on the outside pole with a lap that would have put us about mid pack in the top split, and then the driver goofed. I wound up falling back to 9th by the 4th or 5th lap, and then it was a steady climb. We wound up leading some laps. I, like Phil, tried to stretch it to 15 and came up short. So ran 3 comfortable 14 lap stints on the blacks, and ran the final one flat out on the alts, and just wound up being a little bit too slow. I think those first 4 or 5 laps of just taking it easy and trying not to get caught up in the kerfluffle at turn 1 really hurt me. But overall, a good time. Again, not used to being up there on road courses, so a lot to learn and a lot learned.
Antonio, we talked about this kind of coming into the race, and kind of proof of the pudding here is with Mark is you don't have to be the best road racer. You just have to know these Indy cars pretty well and be pretty accomplished, whether you're an oval racer or not, in these cars, to get a good feel of them. And here at Road America, it kind of caters to all aspects of the IndyCar hierarchy, whether it be that you're good on the streets, you're going to be good here. You're good on the oval, you're going to be good here. You're going to be good on the short oval, you're going to be good here. You're going to be good on road courses, on natural road courses, you are, of course, going to be good here. Road America kind of appeals to just about every type of driver that's in the IndyCar community.
Yeah. I think this is the one that embodies Indy, like, entirely. Like, all different sections or all different types of race courses that we visit is kind of, in a way, somewhere in Road America, and that really translates to pretty much all sorts of drivers that specialize in different things. Again, me winning a road race, it's like, uncalled for, or unfathomable.
It was a cold day in hell, but you won a road course race.
Yeah, so it's like, exactly, very, very cold. But yeah, it caters to pretty much all of us. If we are very familiar with the car, man, yeah, I mean, Road America is one of my favorite tracks. Yeah, so yeah, congrats, Murph, on the podium. That's great.
Next stop, Mid-Ohio, where we will be doing a Wednesday race because of the July 4th weekend. But we kind of talked about it in the preview. Take Road America, shrink it down, make it more technical, and kind of road Mid-Ohio. So it's a Road Ohio now, I guess. But Mid-Ohio is kind of what you get, and that is the next stop for the series here, coming up in a couple of weeks, leading into the July 4th holiday. A little bit of a different style of racing, but much of what we saw here, we suspect will be the same at Mid-Ohio, don't you think?
There's going to be a lot of things that translate from one to another. I do think that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pass because, like we were talking about, there are not very many passing opportunities. And even here in Road America, even some places where you would typically not do it, like the Kink, or maybe Turn 8, you can also try and make it. You can still make them work. It's tough, but you can make them work. In Mid-Ohio, it's close to impossible in many of the corners. So it's all about building that momentum from way back. Like setting up a pass will take a lot of corners and typically a lot of laps, and you're just gonna get to that one or two passing spots that you have. You have one entering maybe turn 2 and one going down the back stretch. But the strategy is gonna come into play. The way that cars are set up, we will see how good or bad the tire degradation is between the different compounds. So, I mean, it's going to be a different kind of entertainment, but it's still going to be very, very exciting to watch.
All right, we are looking forward to that here coming up in a couple of weeks. Let's get on out of here, give everyone back their Saturdays. And I want to thank everybody, because I think IndyCar qualifying for real was going on while we're having this race, for not spoiling anything in chat. We appreciate that. And keep it that way. I don't want to see anything else in chat saying, oh, Gary, since it's over with, now I can tell. No. We're going to go watch IndyCar qualifying. So keep the spoilers intact. Let's get on out of here. Give everyone back their Saturdays. That's it for today. Once again, your podium from Road America. Your winner, Phil Kraus, PK, with another win this season. Marcus Nunez, no relation to Lewis. No relation to Luis Gonzalez, just Marcus Nunez coming home second. Kevin Burrell, the general, marches on as our points leader going into the next race in 2 weeks here at Mid-Ohio. Join us again Wednesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern for round 10 of the 2025 campaigns. The teams and drivers head on over to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course to celebrate the July 4th holiday. Coverage starts at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that's 9:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything you need right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcast. And hey, we love bringing these races to you, but not easy. Require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series presented by 4D Racewear, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description. And donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank you for watching and making this part of your YouTube viewing during NTT IndyCar Race Weeks. Whenever that happens, thank you very much. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of today's race, and if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, would you? And if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, including the IndyCar Open Series on Monday with Murph and Jacob Collins. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Oval Series. That's Tuesdays, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's me, JP, and also Luis Gonzalez Nunez. That's every week right here during the iRacing season.
If I may
go ahead.
If I may interrupt, Gary. Breaking news. This broke at Road America this morning. 2028. The new car is going to be in commission. It is being worked on right now, and they are working on the technological innovations that will encompass the aero screen and the hybrid, where it won't be as heavy as it is right now, along with the aero screen. So 2028, mark your calendars. New car is coming to the IndyCar Series.
Nobody hold your breath, because that might be bad for your health. P1's IndyCar iRacing Series Saturday Top Split coverage is presented to you by 4D Racewear. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Simcams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Simcams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. You can check those out in the description. So, for El Patron, Antonio Estrada, Ryan Skywalker didn't join us today, but we're thinking of you, buddy. Everyone here at P1, Justin Petshower, Mark Murphy, everyone at 4D. I'm Gary Gatto saying to all, thanks for watching, and all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders. Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Make sure to catch the real stars and cars of the NTT IndyCar Series tomorrow, Sunday, June 22nd at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox for the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America. You can follow all the action on your Fox affiliate or on the Fox app or on the IndyCar Live app if you're outside of America, or if none of those are available to you, just join Mark Janes and the gang on IndyCar Radio on Sirius XM Channel 215 as they will bring the action to you the old-fashioned way. Be sure to check your local listings for the correct broadcast times and station in your area. You can catch us again Wednesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time as we'll be on I almost said Road Ohio again, Mid-Ohio for a special Wednesday presentation of the IndyCar iRacing Series Wednesday Top Split right here on P1. And before we go, one last word. Go Pacers. Beat the Thunder. Bring home the NBA championship to Indiana. See ya.